Okay, everyone, now we come to the next concept in that chapter 1. This is on page 9 of the book. Yes, it's on page 9 of the book. I just looked at it. And this is this concept called person, or in Thai is called Buddhkon. Now, the word person the word person is used in every one of my classes. Okay, this person do that, that person do this. But I will not re-explain the meaning ever again in the classes. I will make it clear today. This being the first chapter and also the first week. When we use the word person or Buddhkon in Thai law or any law, it does not mean only you or me, a human being. It does not only mean a human being. It also means another kind of person as well. And this kind of person is not a human being. It is something we call what kind of person it is? Not a human being, but also a person in the meaning of the law? Yes. A juristic person. Or in Thai you call Niti Buddhkon. Right? Niti Buddhkon. Now that's pretty simple. But what is exactly a juristic person? I want to emphasize this. This we all know. A human being. That's because you and me. We all know who we are. We're humans. But a juristic person is not a human being. What is it then? If you look at the word juristic, what does juristic means? It means law, lawful. Right? So it has to be a person that is born or created by the law, not by a human being, right? A human being is born from a mother. A juristic person is not born from a mother. How is a juristic person born? Anyone? A juristic person is born from registration. Registration somewhere. Somewhere meaning somewhere which is a government department. That is when a juristic person is born. Now, because the juristic person has to be born from registration, it is called a juristic person because the law requires this kind of person to have to be registered before it can be born. Now I repeat, a juristic person or a lawful person or a law person, juristic, is called a juristic person because it is a person born from the law. As the book says, born, created, arises from a provision of the law. In other words, the law says in order for this person to be born, the law says it has to be registered. Once the juristic person is registered, the juristic person is born. Or sometimes they call the juristic entity, the thing, this person which is not a human being. It doesn't have a heart, it doesn't have a life, right? But it's nevertheless a person. It has actions. Alright? And when does this actually comes alive? It comes alive at the point where the law says it comes alive. And the point where the law says it comes alive is when it gets registered at a government department. Alright, this is all very theoretical so far. Let's put in some real examples here. Example of a juristic person, the most common one that you guys face with. Almost everything you do in business comes out of this person. Yes, a company. A company is born at the time that it is registered. In Thailand, where is it registered? At the Department of Business Development, Ministry of Commerce. At the Ministry of Commerce. In a department called the Department of Business Development, DBD. Right? Or Gom Phathanaการค้า. All kinds of companies. I haven't come to the kinds of company yet, not yet. Okay, we're still introducing the basic concepts. All right, all kinds of companies, whether it's private, public, all kinds of companies. It will only become a person, a juristic person, upon registration at the Ministry of Commerce. Another kind of juristic person that is born upon registration is, in Thailand, you have foundation, or in Thai you call Moolalithhi. A Moolalithhi is a foundation, or you call non-profit organization, NPO or NGO, non-government organization. They receive their money not from selling something or making profit, they receive money from donations. Right? A foundation or a Moolalithhi or an NGO or an NPO has to be registered before it can become a juristic person. Same thing, another example in Thai, under Thai law. Association, or in Thai you call it Samakom. A Samakom and an association also has to be registered before it can become a juristic person. Okay. The other one is the one that is very common to you guys. For those of you who lives in a condominium building, alright, they call it a condominium juristic person. Alright, or in Thai they call Niti Bukhon Akan Chut. Right? Now, as you can see, okay, all of these guys, they are juristic person. They have actions. They don't have a heart. They don't have hands. They don't have legs. They cannot even breathe. But they are juristic person that comes alive upon registration. This one is registered at the Ministry of Commerce. This one is registered depending on what kind of foundation it is. If it's a foundation for medical health, it's registered at the Ministry of Public Health. If it's a foundation dealing with cars, it is registered at the Ministry of Transportation. Same thing here. Okay? And the moment it's registered, this one is registered at the land office. The moment they become registered, they become juristic person and they are able to carry out actions. This one is the one we deal with all the time, company. Their actions is buying and selling goods or things or services. Alright, foundation, they do things that helps a particular interest group. Same thing here for association. The condominium unit juristic, the condominium juristic person looks after the common areas in the condominium building. Right, the staircase, the parking areas, the swimming pool, the tennis court, the common areas for all owners in the condominium building to use. Right, for in Thai they call Thi Suan Klang. Right, the car park areas as well, the tennis courts, right, the swimming pools. Thus the rubbish gets cleared out in the condominium complex. Okay, this is all looked after by this condominium juristic person. So these are all the actions of this juristic persons. Alright? But the question is, they have no hearts, they have no hands, they have no legs. How is it possible for them to have actions? What I'm getting at is, of course, these people, their actions, I put it on this side because this side maybe it goes out of the picture. Their actions would have to be carried out through an agent, a representative, or a ตัวแทน that represents a company, represents a foundation, represents and the association, represents the condominium juristic person. Represent, agent, representative, ตัวแทน meaning that this agent, he or she, a human being who carries out the actions for these guys, he or she, whatever action he or she carries out, listen carefully, whatever action he or she carries out is not carrying out for himself or herself. It is carrying out for. The keyword is for. Carrying out for this juristic person here. So in the company, who is the so-called agent that acts for the company? What do you call this person? Yes, a director. Sometimes you call it the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer. Sometimes you call this person a signing authority. In the US, they call it the signing authority. Sometimes you call this person a managing director, กรรมการผู้จัดการ Alright, this is the person that carries out the actions of the company for the company. Alright, this is the person whose actions is carried out not for himself or herself, is carried out for the company. Any kind of company. Alright, who is the agent for the foundation? Well, what is known as the committee member of the foundation. Committee member of the foundation. In Thai, it's just the same word. Kamakan. Association is the same thing. Committee member in English, in Thai is the same word. Kamakan. Here too. The juristic person here is also the committee member of the juristic person. Or sometimes they have a juristic person manager. Alright, for the condominium building. But they are all representatives doing for the juristic person. Okay, they are all very important agents. Alright, so let's pick a simple example that happens quite a lot with companies. Let's say, alright, maybe I'll use a different color here for an example. Let's say there is company A. Alright, I put CO dot to mean company A. Company A borrows money from the bank. Money comes. Let's say, alright, 1 million baht from the bank. Who goes to borrow from the bank? The company doesn't have hands, it doesn't have legs. The person that goes to borrow from the bank for the company, the person who goes to borrow from the bank for the company is, of course, this person. Right? The director, the CEO, or the signing authority, or the managing director. Now, of course, when you borrow money, you need to be able to pay back. Right? Company A must be able to pay back the 1 million baht debt. Right? This 1 million baht is the debt. The jamnon ni, the debt amount. And what if company A does not have the money to pay back? Does this mean that the director would now have to pay back the bank? Answer is, of course, no. Why? You guessed it. The director did not borrow the money. The company did. The director was just borrowing for the company. So, of course, your next question will be, well, what then now, Ajahn? What now? The company cannot pay. The director is just the agent. Then who pays? Well, the question is very simple. Who is the borrower? Who is the debtor? Who is the lukni? The debtor is, of course, the company. This is the creditor. Xiao Ni. The company would have to pay. If the company cannot pay, the company would have to, yes, you guessed it, would have to liquidate. Liquidate. Lom lalai, which means sell the company's properties, sell the company's cars, sell the company's furniture, sell the company's notebooks, sell the company's every property, get the money and try to pay back the bank. The director who borrows the money for the company, the director doesn't have to go and sell his or her house, cars, personal properties in order to pay back to the bank. No, because the director is not the debtor. The company is the debtor. The director is just the agent who carry out the actions for the company. All right. Now, this is the general situation with regards to juristic person who is not a human being, therefore he needs an agent to act on his behalf. Okay, and if anything happens, of course, the juristic person, which is like in this case, a borrowing situation, the debtor, which is the company, is responsible. Of course, that's the general situation. Right? But there's a few things you need to know. But before I go there, take a moment to try and capture this and try to understand this. Okay. The things to note here is this. In the past, there has been many cases whereby in a situation of a company, the director acts on behalf of the company. Right? And the director makes decisions for the company. And he causes damages, ค่าเสียหาย or เสียหาย to the customer maybe or to someone. The question of course then is, who is responsible? Of course you would say the company is responsible. The director is just the agent. Correct. But does that mean that the director can do whatever, make whatever decision he or she wants? Because no matter what decision the director makes, he or she would not have to be responsible if anything goes wrong. or damages has been caused to a customer, for example, or to someone. The director can always say, hey, I'm just the representative. I'm just the agent. Don't blame me. I wasn't doing for myself. I was not doing for myself. I was doing for the company. Well, in the past, many years ago, right, in the old laws, the directors are able to use this reason to protect. For example, just give a real life example. For example, if the company is a company that produces milk powders for babies, and babies consume these milk powders and get sick because the milk is maybe not the real kind of milk, it's made from synthetic chemicals, whatever, and the babies get sick. The question then is, of course, who's responsible, right? And of course, the director would say, yes, I represented the company by selling you the milk. But when you get sick, when your kid gets sick, it's not my problem. Because the milk is the company's product. You bought from the company. You did not buy from me, the director. Alright? Now, in the old laws, the director can always use this way to protect themselves, to so-called hide behind the mask of the company. But nowadays, there are quite a number of laws that says to the director, hey, director, you cannot keep saying this reason anymore. You cannot keep saying that you are just the agent, you're just representing. You yourself now have to be responsible as well. So nowadays, there are certain laws, there are more laws than before, who puts the responsibility on the director to be personally responsible for the decision he or she makes, even though the director is acting as an agent. The director cannot keep saying in every case, I am just the agent. I am just the agent. Nothing to do with me. I am just representing. Nothing to do with me. Go to find the company. You can't always use that reason anymore. You cannot always use that reason again. Right? Or sometimes they use the word, this is the word they use for this kind of situation. They call it, let me use a different color here. They call it a corporate veil. A veil is like a curtain, right? The director is always hiding behind, right? The director is always hiding behind the paman, the corporate view of the company, right? The director is always hiding behind this curtain of the company or hiding behind the mask of the company, so that the director can do no wrong in every case. Well, not anymore. Not anymore. The corporate view concept cannot really use them often anymore. Alright? Okay. Now, looking ahead, how this concept of person, juristic person, and company director, which is what you're going to face a lot over the term, is going to come into you, is of course this person will be the representative, right? And soon in the next few lectures we will be talking about companies and how they come to become companies and how this director comes into the company. No, the director doesn't fall down from the sky. Okay, it came from somewhere. All right, it doesn't just, this director, he or she does not just appear in the company. No. All right, somebody puts the director there. Who puts the director there and why? All right. Okay, and this whole concept of agent has something to do with tax as well in the last few weeks of our course. So these are the things to take note. The concept of agency. All right. In general, the agent is representing the juristic person. That is correct. Same thing with all these other agents, the committee members of the foundation, association, condominium, juristic person. But You need to take note. There are certain cases where the director cannot just use the reason to say that they are the agent and they are not responsible anymore. They themselves would have to be personally responsible in some cases as well for the decisions they make, even though they make the decisions for the company or for the foundation. Okay, let me see if there's anything else. No, that's all for this introducing part of persons.